and Larry are no longer tag champions. And then you got Rick Rude, who does exactly what he set out to do, obviously with all the help in the world. And that was to defeat Sting for the United States Championship. So now it seems that this decision served a couple of purposes. First, Luger revealed as the man behind the attack on the franchise. Sting slid into the spot as challenger for Luger's world title, so that automatically sets up a Sting-Luger feud now. And then second, the change gives Rude the United States title, which validates his position and gives him credibility as a heel. We always don't see this sort of instant success or push in wrestling when an established star jumps from one company to another. But from your point of view, Arn, did Rude need the push right away so that that angle would remain hot? Or do you think moving in this direction immediately was good because it helped establish him with the WCW audience?
Yeah, I like him walking in day one and having an impact.
Yeah.
He was a recognized superstar already. It wasn't like he was a middle-of-the-card guy. And, you know, the setup with Sting being behind the 8 ball right away, the booking's getting better. Let me put it to you that way.
And I do like that it looked like it literally took everything to beat Sting, right? He's the franchise. You want to make it look like that.
He's a superhero. Make him one.
Yep, and Dusty made him look strong, kept Sting strong here. He used everything, including the kitchen sink, to beat him. But 4 days after the Clash of Champions, on November 23rd, this is what we've been waiting for, Paulie Dangerously officially formed the group that collectively becomes known as the Dangerous Alliance. In our sixth and final clip of the week. By the way, I feel like we're leaving something out here. We need to figure out some Dangerous Alliance Arn Anderson merchandise. There's got to be something there. We'll figure it out. Let's take a look at the official creation of the most underrated wrestling faction in the history of this business. Hey, research guy, can you get on that? Dangerous Alliance merch. Clip 6, November 23rd, 1991. Here we go, Arn. Can't wait to watch it with you.
Ms. 007 Medusa and I were discussing this. This Thursday night in the Omni, ravishing Rick Rude will destroy what's left of Sting. But you see, Jim Ross, you're a big football fan. Now, if the New York Giants all week long were preparing for the Miami Dolphins, and the NFL said, nah, now you're going to face the Pittsburgh Steelers, would that be fair? No. See, that doesn't happen in any other sport but wrestling. I'll tell you why. Because Jim Herd and the committees and the board of directors like to give wrestlers the shaft. 2 victims of this shaft have come to Rick Rude, Medusa, and I looking for legal advice because WCW says, oh yeah, forget about Barry Windham, we're going to put Ricky Steamboat in the match. And that's why they're no longer the World Tag Team Champions. Please welcome the newest members of the Dangerous Alliance, Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko. Groundbreaking, isn't it? Now, this Thursday night in the Omni, the rightful World Tag Team Champions, Arn Anderson and Larry Zbyszko, Ms. 007 Medusa, myself, the Chief Executive Officer of the Dangerous Alliance, and the man that crushed the hopes of all the little stingers, ravishing Rick Rude, United States Heavyweight Champion, will have the pleasure of watching Flying Brian learn the most stunning wrestling lesson of his life, because he will step in the ring with the world's greatest athlete and newest member of the Dangerous Alliance, the world's TV champion, Stunning Steve Austin.
You're sending quite a lineup here, Paul.
It's not a lineup, it's not an army, it's not a stable, and it's not a family. It's an alliance of businessmen who will bring WCW down to its knees. You know, Jim Ross, Lex Luger, Medusa, Rick Rude, and myself were not the only people in on the plan to set up Sting. See, there was a man, very close friend of Sting's. He said, Sting, go in the ambulance and go to the hospital. You got plenty of time, man. Hey, Sting, if they're going to ring the bell for your match, don't worry about it, Sting. I'll delay the match. Please welcome one of Sting's best friends and a little stinger himself. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful Bobby Eaton. I'm looking at you and you're starting to sweat. you're starting to say to yourself, Sting and everybody else are in just a little bit of trouble. You see, WCW has had a lot of bodyguards. They've had a lot of hitmen. But they've never had a man that's so disgustingly sick that while another man holds a hand in a car door, that he would be sick enough to crunch that hand with the car door and enjoy the sound of the bone crunching. That's why Larry Zbyszko is now being called by us the Cruncher. He's the man that will step in front of the Dangerous Alliance and take care of all our dirty deeds because he's sick enough like Oliver North to do it. In the meantime, I'm going to show you what power is all about. WCW says, hey, no more Barry Windham. In comes Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Want to play that game with us? We're going to play it with you.
Jim Ross, let me explain something to you. Between Bobby Eaton and myself, we have held the World Tag Team titles 6 times. Nobody knows more about tag team wrestling than myself and Bobby Eaton. So in the Omni on Thanksgiving night, we're gonna, here we go.
Let's keep our composure here, gentlemen. Let's keep our composure here, gentlemen. Keep your heads together now.
Let me tell you something, Squirt. Thanksgiving night at the Omni, you bring Anderson down there. You bring Zbyszko down there. As a matter of fact, Paulie, you make any substitution that you want because Dustin and I don't care. If you want these belts, you come down there Thanksgiving night and you come get them.
All right. Thanksgiving night. Let's keep our composure here.
Bobby Eaton and myself will come get them. We're gonna take you and you to new heights you never believed imaginable, pal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've still got a big main event still to come. What a night it's going to be in the Omni at 8 o'clock Thanksgiving night.
Wow. That clip, Arn, went 5 minutes, and that single promo dangerously made every member of the Dangerous Alliance special and important. Paulie paid special attention to each member of the Alliance, accentuating all their positives. Listen, Bobby Eaton, the final piece of the puzzle from the Clash. In classic old school fashion, Paulie kept talking about the importance of the upcoming event at the Omni, giving his WCW promo a Jim Crockett Promotions-like feel. Arn, looking back at this entire segment from almost 32 years later, what are your initial impressions after watching it?
If the push would have matched that piece of business, because it felt like, holy shit, there has been a line drawn in the sand, and it's these guys against everybody else. That's the way it feels to me watching it.
Yes, sir.
Now, if the push would have been behind it, if they would have wanted to pile some heat on some guys and sustain it for 8 months, you might have had a different company. For the good.
I agree.
Prosperity would have probably been at a new level.